she was sitting right next to me, so we got chatting. It was wonderful. Hello, welcome to the Magenta show. I am here on set live with a president, and I'm going to tell you a bit more about it, but please welcome my very special guest, Marika Arovuo from Finland. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and look at her. She looks glorious in red. So I want to see lots of red hearts in the comments box today, please. If you're loving the red, we want red hearts in the comments box. Eh?
My favorite color.
Your favorite color.
Yes.
Okay. So Marika, you've seen the show before. So what we're going to do first of all is to invite the audience to feel whether they are drawn to number 1, number 2, or number 3. And what will happen is at the end of the show, we're each going to pick a bottle. We haven't done them yet. We're going to surprise the audience today. Normally we pick them ahead of time. But we're going to pick a bottle that is going to relate to 1, 2, or 3 and give you a color message at the end of the show. So we'll see what comes up a bit later on for you. So what you need to do is obviously put in the comments box if you're drawn to 1, 2, or 3. So let's see who's joined us, Marika. Clint LaRue has joined us from South Africa. Hello, Clint, darling. Lovely that you've joined us. Julie Grant, UK and Canadian girl. Aurelia, Denmark. And she's our favorite fan of the show. We love her. She supports all the work we do. We
as well as Dwayne as well.
Yeah. Dwayne, you know Dwayne?
Yeah, I know. Yes.
We all love Dwayne. We love Dwayne. We just had a fantastic party at his place on Friday night.
Okay.
Color party where people who like the show and like what we do with the colors come and meet myself and my team. So he hosted that. Morning, you're number 2, Dwayne. Okay, interesting. Now, we don't even know what number 2 is yet. We haven't picked bottles. We normally have them ready. We're going to do something with that later. So, Anne is saying number 1. That's fantastic. Okay, please, my darlings, I'm here with Marika, and Marika is a digital marketing specialist. She really is absolutely amazing. And we were talking earlier about the algorithms that are Facebook's implementing. I mean, they literally can bring the show to a standstill with those algorithms. So we are going to be relying more and more on you, our audience. If you like what you see and you love what we do, to share. Let other people know the show is live. If you don't share and don't put comments in your hearts in the comments box, nobody's going to know that we're there. So, we were talking about if anybody is interested in Facebook, they can get you about a 20% reach to your audience. So if you've got people on a group or a business page or your timeline, about 20% of whoever your members and your followers or your friends and family are guaranteed to see that you have put a post on your Facebook account, and it'll pop up in their newsfeed. They're reducing that to 1.6 to 2% this coming summer.
Yes.
It's a drastic adjustment of percentages and organic reach. And the idea is that they want people who are genuinely engaging with content to be commenting and to be able to then get an organic reach beyond the 1.6 to 2%.
Correct.
I quite like that change. I'm not against it at all. I think we have to adjust things obviously and speak to our audience and let them know that they have to share and comment and so on. But I like it because it says that junk is being removed off our news feeds. Because if you think about it, when we put our Facebook app on and we go on our news feed, we scroll. There's so much rubbish on it.
Isn't it?
So they're wanting to give us more quality content.
Correct.
And of course get paid advertising, which is a good business move. So we don't mind that at all. Yeah,
that's right.
So Marika, you call yourself an organic or holistic digital marketing strategist, all right?
Correct.
And what does that mean?
So it means that we are not only looking at the client in terms of helping them on one area, but looking at their business challenges as overall. Even though clients often come to us to get help on digital marketing, but what we do is also looking at their business in terms of what type of business goals do they have, and if they need any support of coming up even with the business plan, that's something we can do. But then tying those goals with the digital marketing strategy, making sure that we can, help them.
And by we mean you and hubby. I believe you're business partners.
Plus, in our team, all in all, in our core team nowadays, we have 9 people.
Wow.
So we have experts on all areas, anything from website development to graphic design, SEO, paid advertising.
Because I know from a business perspective, to just get a Facebook account and a website, and you've got two different people helping you with both, you need a synergy.
Yes.
So I like that you you have this holistic approach to helping people. That's fantastic.
Yes.
So when we started the show, for those of you just tuning in, welcome Debbie, welcome Nina, welcome
Nina.
Inga.
Hi Nina.
You know Nina.
Good to have you. Yes.
Hello.
She's one of the ladies who is expecting to hear the story that I mentioned.
Okay, well, there is something else we have to say, is why did I introduce you as a president? And that is because Marika has just been nominated and elected to be president of the Canadian and Finland Chamber of Commerce. Woo! So please congratulations, darling.
Thank you so much.
What an amazing feat. It's a success. So please, darlings, if you wish her, by sending lots of red hearts into the comments boxes, and congratulate her on becoming the president.
Thank you so much.
So what does it feel like having the title, the president?
I don't know. Does it change anything in terms of, I believe I've earned it kind of by contributing enough in terms of doing my best of helping both Canadian and Finnish businesses to internationalize. So whether it's been a Finnish business coming to Canadian market or Canadian company going to Finland, that's where we come into the picture of helping, mostly, connecting people.
But you learned this the hard way, because you were telling me what your beginnings in Finland was, and how you became an international businesswoman. Would you please just share it with the audience? Because I heard all this upstairs and I was fascinated. You started off in Finland in a small community, and you grew up on a farm.
Correct. Yeah. So I grew up at the farm. Parents are farmers, and the village itself only around 100 households. And I was one of the 5 girls, raised by my parents. I believe one of the things, that contributed to my own success was the fact that I grew up at the farm. My upbringing, supported me to become independent, taking a lot of responsibility of chores as well as people, other siblings as well as cousins and stuff. Also resourcefulness, in a sense that when you have a farm and you're running a farm, your parents are not necessarily at home.
Yeah. And there's a problem you have to solve.
Yeah, for example, coming up with the meal for 12 people on top of our own family plus the workers at the farm. So,
but you didn't go into farming, clearly.
No, I didn't. Even though I did learn a lot about, practical work there, up until the point that I was, driving big trucks, 30-ton trucks, doing stuff, tractors and things like that.
That's a real farm girl that can drive big trucks. Okay, all right.
Yeah, but I suppose it's a practical thing.
Yeah. And what did you go study, Marika?
So after high school, I took a year off because I couldn't really find the typical female occupations resonating with me and my personality. So I came up, going to study computer science.
Computer science.
Yes.
Okay.
And there I found myself alone as a girl among 30 boys.
Wow.
And
so you were a trendsetter. You see why she became president, eh?
I can see some familiar. Hi,
Hannah.
Hannah.
Some Finnish flag.
Oh, Hannah.
Oh, how lovely.
She's also from this neighborhood, by the way.
Oh, my goodness. You're all Oakville girls. So please, we want to be congratulating Marika today, because she's just been nominated the president of the Canadian and Finland Chamber of Commerce, and she's genuinely earned this. Okay, so there you are. Let's just catch everybody up. You grew up on a farm. You decided to go and be the only girl in the class with boys of 30 boys, and you became a graduate at computer
science. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's where I met my husband as well. We were classmates, and
things happened. She had 30 to choose from. Okay.
And nowadays business partners. So long story short. So I ended up working for Nokia at the time. Nokia was doing well. They were recruiting people straight from the school. They wanted us to join them, and it was only 2 years since I joined Nokia, that my boss and my boss's boss were asking me to come over for a meeting. And I was a bit like hesitant, what's going on? Like, oh my goodness, what I've done, kind of thing. But they suggested me to take a role as a project manager and move to Thailand, to Bangkok.
Wow, okay.
By myself. And start manage a project there of Nokia had sold a full mobile network development there, and one of the products that was sold there was a product that my product line or our product line was producing. So
there you were suddenly in a foreign country, not even speaking the language, running a project. So that was your first step into international waters.
It was, yeah.
Wow.
And it totally, blew my mind in terms of, how that experience, that year changed me as a person. Because suddenly you are there by yourself, you have to still perform fully, even though it's a foreign culture. Everything, traditions, beliefs, food,
everything,
and especially the working culture, which makes a big difference. You can't really compare Finland to Thailand like suddenly.
No, it's different. And then you've came to Canada and you've been here almost exactly the same length of time as me. We found out today. Yeah. So what was it like coming to Canada and adjusting to the culture here? Because a lot of people think if you speak English, then you'll be okay, but it isn't. There is still adjustments to be made. There's a shift, and especially the way businesses are run. We found it. There is definitely a.
It is. Yeah. And really, the fact that we spent nearly 20 years in Asia. So our kids were born in Singapore. And that environment is different from what we have in Europe. Then again, coming here, you have to relearn everything.
You have to relearn.
Yes. And also what comes to marketing and selling things.
Yes.
We found that things in North America are still very traditional, even old-fashioned in some way. So like people even coming to your door trying to sell something, which doesn't really happen.
So you are now not just the president of newly elected, I'm going to repeat this because I'm so excited, of the Finland and Canadian Chamber of Commerce, you're also the president of your own country, but you're having, because you love branding people as well, you've got this holistic approach to the way you do digital marketing. It's not just about creating websites or online presence. You look at branding, you look at logos, you look at business plans, you look at writing copy. A lot of people that can't write and boost themselves, you do that for them. You've told me a lot about what you do, but you also have decided you're no longer calling yourself the president or CEO of your company.
That's right.
So, drum roll. Big announcement. What are you calling yourself?
So people who are involved in this story, you are going to hear it for the first time. It will be Human Highlighter.
Human Highlighter. Okay. Why Human Highlighter, Marika?
So how it happened was that when I'm telling a story, I would also like to make a point in terms of that people would learn something from it. So if I may tell a short story about how I came up with this idea of human highlighter.
I want to know, how do you become a human highlighter? And more to point, I want to know if I fit into that category. So come on.
Yes, you do. With this show, you do.
Then we want to know. Come on, tell us what is a human highlighter, Marika?
So I attended an event called organized by the LinkedIn Local Toronto. Mm-hmm. And what I did was that for like yourself, finding the right networking groups and events to attend, it's sometimes troublesome. You try and error and you find this is not the right group for me. So I did my due diligence and I checked them online. I also checked, who is the main organizer, as well as who are the people who are sitting in the panel that night, because it was regarding storytelling. And I love stories. One of the favorite things that I love to do at the networking event is rather than asking for people this boring, so what do you do, is that what's your story, or how did you end up becoming an entrepreneur? Because that's often then people have a chance to tell and share.
And you get to know them.
Yes. So I was sold. I saw who are sitting in the panel. One of the ladies that I already knew beforehand, Jennifer Ettinger. I had seen her on stage at the Hub Inc. event twice, and I said, okay, I'm coming there. I'll definitely be there. And I connected with all these panelists beforehand, making sure that once I get there, they kind of seen me once already through LinkedIn. And there was one gentleman, Jan Keck, who is originally from German. And he was the very first one to say, hi. And it was easy to go and approach
But you did your homework before.
I did.
Yeah, good.
And what he had on the table was cards.
Yeah.
And he said, pick up one and go for networking. These cards will help you to connect with the people on a more deeper level than just asking that, so what do you do?
Yeah.
And he developed these cards after he had moved here 10 years ago. Similarly, by himself, no relatives around and stuff, really getting to know people on a deeper level than just, small talk. Even though Kenyans are very fluent with small talk, you don't necessarily get to know them too well. So that was it. The event itself was just brilliant. I learned a lot about storytelling, even though I knew some basics about it as a digital marketer. What happened next was that I created a post, kind of like a thank you post and a summary of my learnings. Yeah. And I posted that to LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram as well. And I tagged those people who had been part of the panel, host and the moderator, saying that, they did a great job. So what happened next was that these people start interacting with me and said they were thankful for me being there and the feedback that I gave them. So what I did next, it was that I gave them specific feedback for Nina, for Bobby, for Jennifer. And they came to me and said, oh my goodness, thank you for your kind words. And two of them asked, can I use this as a testimonial? Oh. One of them was pitching the next day for a particular role where my testimonial fit perfectly.
Wow,
the other one said, can I use this for my speaking engagement as a testimonial? I said, yeah, my pleasure. If I can help with putting few thoughts and few sentences, please do that. And I came to realize that this small act that I did made them so happy, And you
highlighted them.
I highlighted them as well as the fact that it's useful for them. Yeah. They can use it to promote their business.
Yeah. That's what we do on the Magenta show.
Exactly.
That's highlighting your business and highlighting you.
So, but it wasn't still yet when I came up with the idea of human highlighter. It happened on the following week when I joined Jan's, the fellow with the cards, his Facebook movement, which is called Ask Deep Questions. And over there, he's always introducing new group members on a weekly basis and asking them to introduce themselves in some fun way. And he tagged me on a post where there was a guy sitting on a chair and he had his name tag on his chest. And the question what he asked was that, what would your tag say, either your name tag or the t-shirt, that would make people to get interested in you and what you are doing and start the conversation?
Yeah.
And then it hit me. Like I shared, for quite some time I wanted to find some fun, unique title for myself, and I came to realize human highlighter. With this experience what I had just before, coming up with giving recommendations, testimonials for people, and how important those actually are, statistically. People rely on reviews. If you have a Google My Business profile, which all business owners should have.
All business owners should have.
People rely on those reviews. First of all, over 90% of people read the reviews, and it's affecting the buyer decision. So...
Yeah, I read reviews when I look for new things on Google. I rely on them to find dentists and optometrists and people. When I came to the country, I didn't know anybody, so the Google review was very important for me. Yeah. So, Miss Human Highlighter, I love it. Not just president of the Canadian and Finland Chamber of Commerce, also the Human Highlighter is here in the audience with me, Marika. Marika, let's just have a look who's chatting to us here. We've got Glenda's joined us. Melissa from South Africa, who makes the colour bottles, has joined us.
And Dwayne also have Jan's deck.
I have set of Jan. Yes, he has that. Nadira saying hello. Yenny's joined us. Jeanette saying hello from Spain. Oh, that's wonderful. Just look at all those lovely people that have joined us. So we've got some wonderful people online. So, my darlings, if you have just joined us and you would like to know a little bit more about what we do here on the Magenta Show, first of all, people, please feel if you're drawn to number 1, 2, or 3, and I'm going to give you a little color reading at the end of the show. So I do have a question I want to ask you, Marika. You, being a digital strategist, what is the number 1 problem people have in their businesses that you solve for them? That anybody out there that has a business needs to know from you?
Ooh, that's a wide question in terms of
one. The top one, which is the most difficult one that people have, or one that they might not even be aware of, that's actually very important when it comes to their online presence.
So first of all, oftentimes people do and businesses have a website.
Yeah.
But does it resonate with with their target audience, the people who are the prospect and potential clients? Looking at that, plus the fact that has your website been found? So if there are people who are looking for your services or your products, are those websites being down? So, or be found? So just, thinking that, okay, I have a website, it means it will bring business. And that website converts. Yeah. So there are actually several aspects that you have to look into. Yeah. And but considering that if you have limited resources, focus on having a proper website. Don't try to do too many things and spread your resources too thin. Or even in some ways you can even manage your business through a properly maintained social channel.
That's right.
But being active, making sure that you have always fresh content there, and then going into the fact that you optimize the content for search engines as well. So also the technical performance.
Because I have an expert here with me, I'm going to be very cheekily get some free advice here, okay? So you've looked at my business. You did your homework before you came on the show, and you've looked at what we're about. You did.
I always. Sorry.
She doesn't just.
Whoever
the president
meets me
does not just turn up on any one show. She had to pick us very carefully. But we actually met at the Hub Inc., which was fabulous, and we had a relationship, and we liked each other straight away. So here we are. So in my business, what do you think is something that would help enhance? And make this even reach a bigger audience, because that's my wish, is to reach more people, teaching them about the color and the color mirror system.
Okay, so one of the, again, I like numbers, the engineering background, I guess. So there's this kind of rule, 80-20 rule, which means that use 20% of your time to create the content and 80% of the time to promoting it.
Yes.
So try to find multiple of platforms to publish the same content. And find ways to, for example, if it's a talk, so can you convert that to a podcast, and then, but you are doing doing some of that already.
Yeah.
But really, maybe the next thing would be the YouTube live in your case. So
okay, let's ask Mr. Producer behind the scenes there. Why are we not doing YouTube live yet?
Because we don't have an audience.
We don't have an audience. Okay, so that's a problem, because we have an audience with Facebook that we broadcast to. Yes. Who would we broadcast to on YouTube? How would we engage an audience? Are you able to solve that problem?
Also, one of the facts is that Google owns YouTube.
Yeah.
And it's the second biggest search engine.
It's a search engine.
Yeah, it's a search engine. People are using it as a search engine.
Yeah.
Also,
I know every time I search on Google for anything, it tends to be a how-to YouTube video that pops up in the feed.
It often is. Okay. So one of the things that what you can focus on, in increasing your audience on Facebook, on YouTube, is to have a full description on each of your episodes, and have a good title as well.
Yeah.
So not only saying episode 5, but really describing what's the content we are discussing here, what they're able to learn.
Today's one will be, we met the president.
And also what you can do on YouTube is that you can actually tag your episodes with keywords.
Yeah.
So certain things that are happening at the background that you can help.
We've been doing that with when we download the Facebook episode and we put it on YouTube. We do all of that, but we're not broadcasting live. And I think it's in the live that you actually get the engagement. So that is something I think we need to look into.
Like similarly, what Facebook prefers to show the live shows on a broader audience than it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Okay, so you and I are going to chat after the show with Michael, our producer.
There was another thing that we discussed just earlier was the chatbot.
Chatbot. Has anybody heard of chatbot? I'd like you to put a yes or a no in the comments box, and let us know. Do you know what a chat? How is CHAT?
Yes.
BOT. A chatbot. Do you know what a chatbot is? I don't. So if you want to know, please pop it in the comments box and let's discover. So what is a chatbot?
Okay, so chatbot is something. It's quite close to the artificial intelligence, like you mentioned.
The AI.
AI. So it works on your behalf, 24/7, by answering to your audience, kind of like the frequently asked questions. As well as what you can do with the chatbot of if you develop that fully, you can segment the people depending on their interests and needs. And it's kind of not fully replacing email marketing, but it's becoming more popular because the engagement rate is higher. People are opening those messages, and it typically increases the customer satisfaction. And engagement.
And they help to make decisions for the customer.
For example, in case of you're running an e-commerce, customers are oftentimes a bit lazy nowadays. They come to your site and say, okay, I want to buy a t-shirt. What are the colors and sizes you have available? So you can guide them through this chatbot and get them to choose, the channel, and finally helping them to make the buy decision.
Ooh. Okay, so Juliet Francis, Dwayne says he knows. So Dwayne, you should be telling us these things. I want to know these things.
He doesn't want to spoil it.
Juliet says, I believe so. Chatbot, like an immediate
response.
It is,
correct.
Automated response,
yes.
Michelle.
Yes,
There's a couple of people that don't know what they are. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, hopefully now you know what a chatbot is. So definitely after the show, I would love to talk with you, Marika, about this YouTube gathering a live audience and about the chatbot.
Yes.
That is something I'd like to implement in our business. And then, of course, you'll get to hear about it here on the Magenta show, whether it works or not, whether I understand it or not. I'm very lucky I've got Michael producing and pushing buttons, because if he wasn't producing the show, there wouldn't be a show.
He's doing an awesome job.
He does an awesome job, yeah. So I would like to offer you a color reading. So have you got a question for me, some insight or guidance you'd like in a specific part of your business?
Yes, I do. Thanks for asking.
I don't know what this is, by the way, just in case you think this is rehearsed. I haven't a clue.
She didn't give me any chance to, even initially when I came here, we just had a short chat, and she said
you're going to pick some bottles.
It needs to be authentic. It has to be transparent, and I love it.
Yeah.
It actually is something to do with that, being authentic. Just recently, I've come to be more of myself rather than, removing my marketer hat. Yeah. And being more open in terms of what I share about myself, about my story, and because I'm a super extroverted person, I love to meet people. So I've been more out there, more authentic, more listening maybe my heart in terms of the choices that I make. So now that my husband joined our business a year ago, we have in terms of expanding our business and stuff like that, there are plans. So the reading regarding that, am I in the right path? And, and how to tackle the challenge of expanding my business now.
Okay. Do you feel you want to attract more clients, or do you feel you want to expand the business and
more clients and more the right type of clients?
The right type of clients. I like that. All right. So, Marika, what you're going to do for me is you can swivel your chair. You can get up. It doesn't matter. I want you to look at the wall of the Color Mirrors bottles behind me here. And then keeping that thought in mind, I actually want you to pick me 2 bottles. I want you to pick me one who's the right, how to attract more of the right clients, and then the other one is how to tackle the expansion, how to tackle the reaching out more to those right clients.
Okay.
So I'd like you to pick me 2 that you're drawn to and come and pop them here on the light box for me, please.
I somehow love this. This is my second favorite.
Okay. And that one would be for the clients.
Yes.
Okay, all right. And then another one for me, that will be about the greater scheme of things, the expansion of the business. Which one draws you? Oh, I love it. Okay. Now, I need you to draw me 2 more, okay? Because you and your husband are very key in this business.
Mm-hmm.
So I want you to pick a bottle that says, this is me, and one that says, this is my husband. So, and I am this, and my husband is that. Okay, so pick a bottle for you, and pick a bottle for him. We're just going to make sure that the partnership comes into the discussion as well.
I guess I'm the sparkle. And he's the one, setting up the processes and making sure that, things are operating well. So I think this is him.
Wonderful. Oh, I'm loving this. Okay, fasten seatbelts for those of you who know the color mirror system. And for those of you who don't know, this is how it works. So I know you've put them down, but I'm going to move it just slightly across so people can see this one here. So first of all, the clients. You've got bottle G3 and it's copper on top and it's turquoise underneath.
Mm-hmm.
Very clearly says your ideal client is somebody who's completely confused with technology. They need to be hands off. They don't know what they're doing, and they need to 100% hand it over to you to manage everything in a package deal for them. Copper says I'm muddy, I'm brown, I'm confused, I can't see. It's like everything is a bit brown and muddied, and the waters are muddied. I can't see clearly. The turquoise underneath says that underneath, because it runs underneath them, it's like they know they have to have all this turquoise technology, because turquoise is colorful technology, the internet for communication, for creating all of this digital media that you're involved in. That's what that color relates to, saying they need to get clear about that. And for me, it just feels like they need to hand it over to a third party, being the G3 bottle, and that being you. They can't be handling it themselves. So your ideal client is somebody who says, okay, you create me my website, link it to my Facebook, link it to my YouTube, link it to all my other social media, check that it fits in with my business plan. So you genuinely do this whole holistic thing, right?
Fits very well. Oh my goodness.
Is that your target?
Yes, it is.
Is that your ideal client?
It is. Because we have clients like that, and then it's also very stress-free from them.
Yes.
They just, we hook up on a call, on a Zoom call, because we serve clients all over the world. So Zoom and other teleconferencing systems are very, much in use all the time. So it's very stress-free from them. They can focus on what they do best and let us handle.
That's exactly it. Then we looked at your strategy or your vision or your plan, or how can you make this more available to the rest of the world? How can you expand on the business? And you've picked bottle 12. And then you've got purple, violet on top, and you've got this red at the bottom. And remember briefly upstairs I was talking about what magenta is. It's a mixture of red and violet. And to me, part of your expansion and part of your plan has to include those words you just used, which is, I take the stress off you. I make it happen for you. I will serve you in your highest interest. So there has to be a little bit of spiritual language, almost, a bit of the ethical, moral kind of, and the you, your personality being present and authentically present while you are out there making money. Because the red is about the making the money and the violet is about being service. This bottle is actually called Heaven on Earth.
Oh my God.
And there's so many business people who actually pick this bottle on the show, and we've had over 70 guests on the Magenta show since we started. And the reason they pick it is because that's what they ultimately look for in their businesses, is a mixture of heaven and earth. They want to not just be it all, but they want to offer it all to their clients.
Wow.
So there's a bigger vision for you here. It's genuinely serving from your heart, and making money. Finding that balance.
I like it. I like both elements. Yeah.
So again, just your marketing message, including more personal, messages in it. Is that useful?
It's very useful.
Okay, not just I can make you XYZ money. It's like, I can help relieve your stress, free you up to do what you do best, and that will result in more money for you. Okay.
Yes.
And it's a new way of marketing.
It is.
It's like you were saying, you can't just go to these events without connecting and talking to people and getting to know them, and just exchanging business cards is silly.
And that's the biggest mistake that some people do, is that they immediately try to sell you something.
Yeah, and of course, just applying that to your own business. What you practice what you preach. Tongue tied today. Right. So then you pick G32 for you. And you said it's a sparkly bottle, and yes, it does have some glitter in it. You're definitely the rose in the house. So G32 is a lot to do about being a rose. And for you right now, and it's so apt to what you were saying, and please, my darlings, for those of you who know Colour Mirror System, this bottle has undergone a name change, and it's undergone a description in it since the book has been written about the system. So it's had, this bottle just recently has had this major evolution, and it's called the Rose. And this is about beauty from within coming without. This is about who you are inside, the farmer girl, the innovator, the instigator, the one that went and sat in a computer science class with 30 boys and did it. This is about that strength and beauty of who you are on the inside being able to be more visible on the outside. People getting to know the inner you a little bit more. Okay, so this is about being your own human highlighter. All right, highlighting yourself a bit more, and the beauty of who you are clearly coming out into the world. And the top fraction here is that rose pink, and that's all about divine love. So this is about love that's even beyond human and ego love. It's about a God-given gift inside of you coming out of you and shining out into your world, into your work, into your business. Does that make sense? Have I gone too spiritual on you here?
It makes sense. It makes.
Okay. I always assume farm girls know about being close to nature and being close to the source of where everything comes from. Yeah. And then we've got Hubby here. If Hubby's watching.
He is. I've seen some comments there.
Okay, excellent. So you've picked C5, and it's a blue bottle for him, and C relates to says chakras, and the fifth chakra is the throat. So this is the one that that everything can communicate through. So he's the center point for communication. So and you need to use him perhaps more to allow him. He needs. I don't know what he does, exactly what the role is, but that communication, that leadership with a voice is what I'm getting, to speak up to.
He does it better than
organize.
I do. Yes.
Yeah. He needs to be the one to communicate. So if you find you can't sell this beautiful rose that you are, and you can't quite convince people what you could do for them in the business, if he speaks, they'll listen. So using him almost as your as your chat bot. Does that make sense? So there's something here about him standing up more in a communicative leadership role, because this bottle is all about communication, and it's all about strength and discipline and organized abilities that he has in the business.
But now you mentioned that one of his biggest strengths and abilities is to talk to the people, even considering his role with prior businesses. He's been dealing with engineers, salespeople, CXO level people, and he can communicate to all of these people, and it's quite rare. Even my mom, being an older woman, non-technical, definitely, he managed to explain complicated things.
Yes,
he can easily go to the level of the person's understanding. So
because if you're going to draw a client like this who's so muddy and kind of confused about their technology, you need someone who can speak to them clearly, because you've put him next to the difficult client. So he's the one that has to do that. And
my issue is that I assume too much. Of course, everyone knows this is so basic. Yeah. So he goes down often, and starts to explain basics. And I'm like, is this unnecessary? Yeah. But it's not.
Wow. But that's why you've placed him here.
Yes.
So he can be that, and you've kind of placed yourself a little bit in the front of. I did move. Ooh,
even that.
Which said that you are the president, the CEO, the human highlighter. You are definitely that energy out there. And I like your silver that you've got underneath that bottle, because it says, and it goes with your human highlighter, because it's like a spotlight on a stage, highlights the main actress, the lead actor or actress in the moment. When they say an important line, the spotlight goes on them, and they shine more brightly than the rest of the players on the stage. So I do like your human highlighter. I think it's something to pursue and go with.
Yeah, I came up with this quote saying, highlight others and they will highlight you.
Yes.
So like you do with this show.
Hashtag. Highlight others and they will highlight you. Got that? Straight here from our wonderful guest Marika, who is also recently, congratulations again, been nominated to be the president of the Canadian and Finland Chamber of Commerce. I'm so proud to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
And for that accomplishment, Marika. I think it's amazing. So we've come to the part where we're going to give our audience a little gift as well today.
Okay.
So we are going to be drawing. We haven't yet drawn it. We are going to draw live for you your choices. So if you've put number 1 in your comments box, number 2 or number 3, you're about to discover what your bottle is. So, but make sure you've got it in. You're not going to pick it because you see it. You want to pick it blindly with an empty bottle, all right, before we fill it up with color for you. So for those of you who've picked number 1, you are going to have the pick of the week drawn by our guest, Marika. So Marika, I want you just to randomly pick a bottle for the audience.
Wow. Oh, I'm drawn to this one next.
Oh, that's beautiful. It is bottle G35. And this is one, I'm going to just put them right in the front here so our audience can see them here. Number 1 is bottle G35 and it's very deep magenta underneath and it's got platinum on top. And this is like a peace portal. This is like peace coming into your life, things beginning to move, and things become peaceful when you trust that divine part of yourself that I was talking about in your rose, that magenta. If you trust your divinity, if you trust and have faith in who you are and what you're capable of doing, peace will follow. All right. So it's also this week, it's about peaceful communication. So this has a lot to do with how you communicate. And so this is a week where just before you say something, take a deep breath and then speak. All right. So have that split moment of breath. I love teaching about split moments of breath, taking embrace, because sometimes what you thought was going to come out and what then comes out are two different energies, right? It could be the same words, but the energy is different. So it's about speaking and being more peaceful. On a healing therapy note for G35, it's about ending sibling rivalry. It's about ending a fight with families, a fight with yourself, all the aspects of you that are splintered and kind of out there. It's about all of those traumas and troubles becoming to a more peaceful resolution. So it's kind of, if I had to say if the world war was going to end, it would be, I would say this is the bottle that will do it. You know, stop all the wars and the bloodshed. Remember, you're all divine, you're all connected. You're all from one source. Yeah. It's a very powerful spiritual bottle you picked there. Yeah. Okay, so for those of you who picked number 2, I'm going to ask Michael to pop up from behind the camera and come and pick a bottle and pass it to us. If you don't mind popping on, darling. Pick a number 2. Which one?
G9.
G9. Oh. Where's G9, darling? I can't see it from here. Oh,
next to G8.
Oh, G9. Oh, Faith. Oh, no, we don't have. It's not G9. I don't have here, darling. We've got G10.
Oh, G10.
It's G10 you've picked, not G9.
Yeah, G9.
All right. Okay, so this is G10. Oh, well, hello. Where it's pale ascension gold at the top and it's got blue lilac at the bottom. Well, we're actually in a 8-week program, which is why I can't go to the hub meetings in Oakville for June and July. And we're in an 8-week program where we are going through what we call the keys of ascension. And every key or every note, every color that you hit in the 8-week program is going to change something for us that week. And we highlight that week and work intensely on changing something. This week we've been working on G9 faith, which is why Michael was mentioning G9. We're working on our faith. Next week, what we're going to work on Wednesday in class, for those of you who are on the Ascension program with us, this one's called impeccability. And speaking impeccably means to speak without sin. In other words, to speak without judgment, to speak pure, to speak clearly, to speak with love, to speak with humility. So we're going to be going and looking at how we communicate and how we speak. But it's also, G10 is also to do with healing issues around masculine. So if you haven't forgiven your father or your brothers or your husbands or any male bosses you've had in your life, for those of you who've picked number 2, it's a really good week to just reflect on and join in the energy that we have with this Ascension course we're on, where we're going to be looking at forgiving the males in our life that might have done us wrong at some point. And also just to hear that what's coming out of our mouths is said impeccably. So it's very powerful. And of course, gold says that leads you to authentic power, because the color for authentic power is this Ascension Pale Gold. This is the purpose of this course that we're on, is to lead us to being more authentically present for ourselves in our lives and for the rest of the world. For those of you who've picked number 3, I'm going to be picking you one right away. And that one right at the end on that shelf for me, please, Marika. Go to the other side.
Here.
That one. Could you pick that one for me, please?
It's
It's just calling me so hugely. Isn't that beautiful?
It is.
Now, actually, that one is platinum on top, and then it's a paler magenta at the bottom. So it's almost a little bit like the one you picked, but it's just a little bit brighter. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. All right, and it's in the color mirror system. It's G21, and I'm going to try and think why I picked this bottle now. It's called the Beloved. And it's a reminder that you're loved and you've always been loved. So I think, just my angels, for those of you who picked number 3, if you're not feeling a lot of love in your life right now, or you're feeling you're not loved enough, this is to remember that you've always been the beloved of the universe, of God, of Source, of whoever you believe in. You've always been loved and held in a safe space, even when you have forgotten. You know, as humans, we tend to think our love must come from our parents. Our love must come from our husbands or our partners, or our children should love us. And actually, we forget that we can love ourselves, and we forget that we are the beloved of the Creator.
Yeah, and if you love ourselves first, it's much more easier.
Yeah. So a very spiritual note to end our show on with number 3, for those of you who picked number 3. Okay, so Dwayne Richards, let's just go back to our screen before we say goodbye. I bathed in G9 last night. Jeanette, love it, thank you. Glenda, yay, Dwayne, I've loved my meditation so much. Don't want to see it go. I might do it tonight. Kim, my sister's joined us. She's from Botswana. Sharon, also from Botswana, is saying thank you so much. Oh my goodness, thank you so much for tuning in. And Marika,
and did we have the sharing?
Yes, please. Listen, digital strategist, marketer, expert, president, sitting here next to me, saying, please remember, in the beginning of the show, if you haven't watched it, or you're not going to watch the replay, please share the show. It's very, very important, because the algorithms on Facebook are going through a drastic change this summer, and we're going to lose most of our viewership, and it's not going to pop up on your news feeds like it used to. So unless people are actually sharing the show or putting comments in, and we're going to find our audience just dwindle.
So what we can offer as a sharing gift is a small website development.
Wow!
Yes.
Serious?
Yes.
OMG.
One-page website development, so in terms of the design and the development itself, as long as the content comes from the client or whoever is the winner. And unless you don't have that need of, if you already have a website or you are not in business, what you can do is pick up a charity or non-profit organization that you wish to get this.
Give it back. Marika, thank you. I just have the nicest guests on the show. This is why I keep turning up on Mondays, because of people that are, I call it heart-centered businesses. And a lot of people go, oh, the heart-centered people don't make money, but actually we do. And because we do come from our hearts, and that's the most powerful energy, and you've just demonstrated that. So my darlings, if you share the show, you're going to be entered into a draw to win a one-page website development straight from Marika and her team. And if you don't need it and you're going to win it, then you can donate it to somebody that you know deserves it.
Yes.
That really needs it. Maybe it doesn't have the funds to get started with a website.
Yes.
Marika, thank you.
My pleasure.
Please give her lots of red hearts and thank yous, and share and get into the competition. We've never ever given a website win away on the show. So you're the first.
But we did really brainstorm around this with the team, so it wasn't only me.
Oh,
and we figured that if they don't need it themselves, they can give it to someone else. And,
oh my goodness, that is just amazing. Thank you, Marika, and the wonderful team out there that's been watching. And just thank you so much for being on the show and your generosity. Appreciate it. Everything's looking very good and powerful for your business.
I can see that, yes.
It's really on its way up to be something huge. And for all of you who've been watching, thank you. Michael producing, thank you. We love you all. And I'm going to say goodbye for now. Love you, angels.